Alright, I know what you're thinking. If you follow the channel regularly, you're like, wait a minute, didn't you already wail for Miyabi? And the answer is yes, I did. And if you missed that video, go check it out because it might be among the luckiest set of pulls you've ever seen. We're hoping some of that same luck transfers to Jason, who is joining Team Miyabi tonight with me. So, Jason, congratulations.
Yes, I'm here. I am pulling. I did the story. That's the gist of it. I'm sure the question will be, oh, you weren't going to do it before, and I was sort of on the fence. I think Miyabi's cool. I think she was the best design out of like the first couple factions that they showed, prior to even the Sons of Caledon coming out. Um, but like I was never truly wowed by her. Flashy katana moves are not enough to sell me on a character. But the story did a lot to really sell me on like her personality, why she is the way she is. They kind of show some vulnerability with her. And the main character, Wise and or Bell, Faithin, like they really, they build up their relationship between Hoshimi and them, and it's all kind of interwoven into the story. It's great. If you haven't played the 1.4, if you I don't know, you fucking hate ZZZ and you're like, this game is garbage, I don't know why you're watching this video.
Mm-hmm.
But like, go play the story is all I'm going to say. It's worth it to like come back and do it. It's solid. And they already are setting up for the next patch, which I'm still excited for. Still hope I have enough pulls for. Well, I guess we'll see. But I've got the guarantee. We saw Kaleda. There's still strong evidence that Kaleda will be a very, very good. I don't know about very, very good, but a solid stunner for Evelyn when she comes out. Some of the YouTubers I follow that I trust their team building and how they build characters, they were already pitching Kalita as a solid sort of free to play pick. So I'm happy about that. My problem now is I'm trying to do some of the new events. I did this the other night. I was like, okay, we're gonna see how many stars I can get in the new events. And even my Juyin team, I could get 2 stars. 3 was looking like it was going to be a little rough. It wasn't quite enough damage, and it's sort of looking like the new content is. I'm not going to say too tough. I managed to do it on my Bernice Jane team. It was tough. I had to get my dodges down because they were killing my team before I could put enough damage down to hit the 3 stars. I got 2 pretty easy, but hitting that 3 required precise gameplay, which kudos to them, honestly, for the new mode. I don't know what it's called, but it's like 3 bosses and they've tuned them the hell up. They're hyper aggressive and stuff. Even the marionette, it's like 1 marionette, but it kind of just like mirage duplicates itself into the 2 forms, so you're not dealing with like 2 health pools or whatever. It's just the one, but it still has a lot of the double moves. Pretty cool, actually. But then I'm looking at the boss fights and they're just like, oh well, this one's weak to ice, and I'm like, ah, F. I knew this would happen at some point. I don't have an ice attacker. No Ellen, no Miyabi, no nothing. And yeah, at some point, I was blessed with the early Lycon, and I wasn't sold on Ellen, and I guess I'm glad I'm not. Even back then, I was like, I don't know why I'd pull. Sure, Miyabi will come out at some point. We're here. Miyabi's here. So
Tough for Ellen.
it's
It's a shame she's kind of been power crept in this specific angle. Power creep gets tossed around too much in these games, but it's pretty clear it's happened to her here. And maybe she'll still find her
yeah.
own niche, so it's not like it's the end of the world. But yeah, I mean, as far as what we're looking at here, I just pulled for Miyabi 3 days ago. I've already built her way the hell up. I've been pouring a lot of time into her. She's great. This is actually another late night recording. I'm supposed to be traveling for the holidays, but Jason changed his mind, and I said, well, let's get this shit done. Having finished the story, we did also learn what we talked about at the end of last time. There are some missing voices. Luckily, it's none of the main characters in this patch. So it's not that bad, but you do have sort of an Avengers Assemble moment that's a little lacking because of it. Again, not the end of the world. Could have been much worse, but hey.
And I have seen some people, I don't know if they're more in the know than anybody else, that say it is not because of the strike. Because true enough, the ZZZ, today they were saying the studio is like, they're cool, they're kosher. So the strike wasn't the issue. It was legitimately a scheduling issue, which I think actually points to them because they pulled so many strings to restructure the game in 1.4. I wonder if they did rewrites to the finale of 1.4 that essentially led to scheduling conflicts that just could not work to get some of those people in. There are even cutscenes where, like, some Belobog characters, not voiced, but then when you're in the world and they've got little dialogue across the top, they were voiced. So either they pulled them from earlier parts, or they had maybe planned on them showing up but didn't have cutscenes finalized or something. I think they just were maybe juggling too many things for this patch. But like Chris said, as much as it would have been nice for them to be there, they were not the stars of the patch. It wasn't a, this is Nahita's birthday and I can't listen to Nahita talk
Right.
kind of scenario at all.
Or this is Star Rail and the main character is not voiced.
Correct. Yeah.
So yeah, not too bad overall.
So,
We feared the worst, but I mean, we thought that maybe there wouldn't be any impact. There was, but it wasn't too bad. And look, you've been on the fence about ZZZ. First of all, you're now 6 minutes into the video, so I don't know what you're fence sitting for, but this patch has corrected a lot of the issues that issues is too strong, but the potential shortcomings of the game, because it was not perfect. It has improved a lot in this patch.
agreed. And I even like the TV stuff. I haven't been able to play the new Bangbu stuff yet. I'm sure there's a way I can go back and replay older missions, see how that goes. So I'm interested to see how that'll go. But I have a feeling I'm going to like the new stuff too, even though I didn't hate the old stuff. But if that's not the direction that they want to go, I respect it. I don't know that I was so in love with the TV stuff that I wanted to see it everywhere. And in fact, now that we've gotten more TV stuff, I think, yeah, long term, unless they really spiced it up, it probably has already hit what I would have liked. They did the Arpeggio Fault thing, and that was basically just the most busticated sort of Divergent Universe version of that, the most roguelike version of that, which is what I would have wanted. And I was already sort of like, yeah, I mean, this is fun, but like, boy, yeah, I don't know if I want this the whole game all the way through. It's a nice little side mode, a fun little thing, but yeah. So I don't know. Kudos to them. They've, devs listened, the meme and all that stuff, but they have, that you can even goon now
That's
on,
right.
on Wise's butt if you want.
We were
right
talking
there,
about it at the
boom.
very end of
Boom.
last time because it was literally that night and things were happening quickly. Now, not only do you get to goon if you want to, you also got like 1,900, not Prima Gems, polychromes.
They literally paid the players. They were like, our bad. We accidentally didn't allow you like 12 hours of gooning. Here, have some free polls.
I will say, kidding
Yeah.
aside, it did feel like it was too extreme. I don't even care about the whole like gooning part of it, which obviously some people did intensely. It just felt like your character disappeared way too quickly. So it did feel like a mistake and not a decision, but it was so early when we made the video we didn't know. Now we know. It was a mistake, and nobody's really angry about it because it was fixed and there was pretty generous compensation.
Yep. Yeah. I would almost say overly generous, but if they want to keep doing.
Oh no.
We're here.
Okay, sorry. Your Discord died, but you're back.
I'm back. Hello, I'm
Just
here,
for like
baby.
5 seconds. The video also froze. It is buffering and coming back. I think we're okay.
Okay. I can do a little.
There was also an exclamation point in the Discord thing, but it has gone away. So I think we're all right. I guess it's our sign to pull Miyabi before it gets worse.
It's time to pull. Yeah, my internet seems okay, so it might be you, but it's okay. It is what it is. We're here. We're just pulling till we get Miyabi. I don't think we're doing anything else. Any other choices would be made much later than tonight, I think. So
yeah, we have some time.
We are hoping. Yes, we are hoping for some pipers. I would like. We're just gonna skip. Sokakus aren't terrible. They're wishes. But I'd like some piper. Whatever constellations. They're not constellations. Sue me.
I mean, after the success of my last run, I'm considering maybe putting more into Miyabi. We'll see. It's early, but
okay.
We've never had a banner this long before. This is the first of that whole new thing, so I've got time to consider it.
Oof. Okay. Oh, hold on. What is this one? Original Transmorpher. Whose is this? What is this? Defense? Is this I have no idea what this is.
Right. Well, it sounds like a Billy.
This is nobody's. You would have thought, but it's a defensive one.
Right.
So this just must be a thing that exists. Well, okay. You know what? New things are new things. Get out of here. Return. Confirm. Cool beans. But yeah, the fact that I already have 116, I'm feeling, I'm feeling okay on my polls. We'll see. I'm kind of hoping they'll do another double banner for the Astra and Evelyn one. They may not. We'll see. Genshin's not, despite all the leaks saying that they were.
Right.
They've got a 2-phase banner. So, oh, that might be my last Billy. Okay.
Which is odd because if any game needs to do it, it's probably Genshin, but
I agree. That's a whole nother topic about how they're doing their polls.
yeah. All right, come on. We're hoping for earlier. We know it's guaranteed, but
yeah.
We want you to preserve as many as possible, although you do have plenty of time to build more up. You've got, 4 to 6 more free ones coming just from Miyabi's login event, if nothing else, plus other new material and stuff.
Yeah, I don't think any of the events have actually hit this patch yet, which means all of those will be coming through here.
You're probably finding the way, but, unsurprisingly, it's not like we're going to be shocking anybody when we say, well, yeah, the earlier the better.
Correct. But we can't all be you.
No.
Okay. Well, we're getting some pipers, which is good. That's what we were hoping for. Well, here we go.
I wish it hadn't been so late because I felt like I wasn't super excited. I was. It was just I was very tired. So
yeah,
didn't come across like I was. I was more shocked than anything.
I mean, how could you not be shocked at that?
Well, you know especially given my track record. That doesn't happen to me.
Well, it's looking like they're going to hard pity me. Oh, but we do like the pipers, though. That's what we're here for. That's not what we're here for, but
I mean, you could single pull. Doug is not here.
That's true. I don't know that it's worth it to single pull.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know what I save. 1 or 2 wishes. That's not like that doesn't help me at all. I don't know.
I mean, I feel like most of the people hit between 76 and 80. The way the curve works, and you're on 75 currently, correct?
Yeah, it should be a guarantee
like
here.
6-5 pulls. I don't know.
See, and that's where I'm like, I don't know that I care about 4 or 5 pulls.
Right.
That's like, yeah.
I tried to be the anti-Doug.
There we go. Oh, beautiful. Oh, we're hoping for 2 S's though, right? Yeah, I didn't think so.
Well,
we can hope.
You saved 3, so single pulls wouldn't have done much.
Old trucker do for ya.
Oh, little old me. It's okay. And we know what we're getting, but we'll get the animation in for people.
Yeah. Might be the only one they see, although again, 3 days ago.
Yeah. You guys should definitely...
I am Hoshimi Miyabi, Chief of Section 6.
Look at her. She is her. She is all the damage. All the everything.
I've been running Anby on her team.
Yeah, I have a feeling I don't know what I'm going to do exactly with her, because I know I could pair her with my Bernice and Lucy and probably kill everything, but I actually think that's too much of my account's power in one team, and I don't think that's the right call.
No, I think
don't.
You're right. Like, the reason I tossed Anby on mine was just I wanted a good stunner, and she's built up pretty well. So, like, in this new role, which is also part of why it's interesting, because we're in this new meta with everybody having their own ults and stuff, to where, like, conventional wisdom doesn't really apply anymore. We still have to feel our way through this new process. So, like, I don't know what her best team is. It's certainly not going to be Anby, but it's working for now.
Correct. Yeah, so I don't really have anything built for her, I don't think, whatsoever.
Well, I mean, you made this decision effectively earlier today, although I think you were already leaning that way.
I mean, it was always sort of a, like, I knew she was going to be good. It really came down to, and I don't need to shout him out, but I caught, I guess it was technically Gotcha Smack reacting to I Win to Lose Gaming. But watching I Win to Lose go through and, like, easily clear a Shiyu 7 with Sokaku, Lycon, and a Miyabi wielding the Rainforest Gourmet, I was like, well, if he can make that work, then I can make it work. Yeah. So, like, that was the big selling point there for me. Like, I'm gonna be so close to having the Piper. No, is that all?
Yeah.
Oh, I snuck it in at the last pull.
Last one. Yep.
Beautiful, because I'm pretty sure C6 here. Yeah, the duration of the spin. that's what she does. She spins. She do spin.
Time to twirl. Yeah, I mean, look, this is not shocking. So when I welcome Jason to the Church of Miyabi, since I've been a devout follower from the beginning, it's not like, oh wow, look at this underground, never heard of character that we're all following. We knew she was
Yeah.
going to be really good. Some people said she might even be busted. The reality is, look, the drip marketing for her has turned into a torrent. There has been like 8 different videos on the ZZZ account. You know, we have a music video. We've got all the trailers. We've got one of the cutscenes from the game, which these are the best cutscenes we've seen so far in ZZZ yet. Like, they spared nothing for Miyabi, which is why I spared nothing for her, and my faith was rewarded. And now Jason also has her.
Yeah, I guess you don't really need anomaly proficiency with her.
Not particularly. It's okay. It doesn't hurt.
There might be an argument that I flop some things around here. Every 10 consumed. Is this like whenever a squad member flicks, the equipper gains? So, yeah, you just kind of gain some nonsense. It might end up being that she takes my Jane's electro lip gloss or something like that. We'll see, I suppose. I don't know that it's a ton better. Is it more attack? No, 20.8, and they deal additional damage. Probably, I don't think she needs the additional damage. If I'm being honest, so maybe not. Maybe she just takes the worst because that's all she needs. So I have none of her. No, nothing. We're rocking what we got here. That's what we're doing.
It wasn't super hard to farm on the new thing. I got a couple good pieces pretty quickly after. I also had a lot of like the whatever the fuels are called in this game, the things that restore your points. So I spent a decent amount of those plowing through her relic sets as quickly as possible. And then I made one because I needed a crit rate 4th slot piece. And I was like, well, I'm not going to sit here and farm this to death. I'm just going to make it because I got the materials to do it.
Yeah, that is probably what I will do as well. Because one of the other things I've seen is just sort of saying like, you know, if you don't get her Wenjin, just make sure to know that you probably have a grind ahead of you. And I'm like, well, I will probably spend some resources to lower how bad that is.
And as expected, with 2 full teams at my disposal now, I've been going through that content a lot better. Like, it just feels great. I haven't given up on Jane Doe. I love Jane still. That team's fun to play, but this is the new hotness, and going through the content feels great, and freezing even some of the toughest enemies feels great, and everything feels great.
Yeah. No, like Miyabi's a great design. Like I said, I remember when they first announced this game, and I was like trying to pick like who would be my best girl of all of them, and it was sort of like, I don't know, a lot of them are kind of cool. I remember Miyabi being one of the cooler ones. It wasn't until I started looking through some of the like leaked characters that I saw like a cool concept for Bernice, and then the Trigger one where I was like, Gun Girl looks like big winner, but Miyabi was up there. It was just, you know, the story hadn't sold me on her yet. She was just sort of stoic samurai warrior. But they really do her justice, I would say, in the 1.4 story. In fact, one of the things I wanted to see here, can we tell? We can tell, kind of. So this is the thing I don't know, and it's hard because I think you're the only one that would be able to know, Chris. Her hairpin, she doesn't have it here on the back of her head. Do you remember if she has it in the other parts of the story?
I don't.
Or if she had it on the back of her head prior to you doing the story?
I do not.
Okay, because there's an element of the story that involves her pin, the hairpin, and for the life of me, I cannot recall if it existed prior to like this moment now that we exist in.
Eradicate all evil.
Because she doesn't have it there. I wonder if she has it here. Yeah, she does. Okay, so she has it here. Interesting. But yeah. No, like they do a lot of stuff. They go into the sword, tailless. Yeah, every part of her gets a lot of plot, frankly. I think I even mentioned it when you were polling. As soon as they put out the little trailer where they go into like the formation of Section 6, I was like, that's already super more interesting than anything that they've given us for Section 6, other than like, oh, they're the like super FBI guys or whatever. And I'm like, okay, I guess they're the, you know, Japanese, the kind of Japanese themed, you know, whatever federal agent hollow battle guys. But other than that, we didn't have much, but we've gotten a lot more in 1.4, and I'd say it was worth it.
Yep, lots of personalities in the story, and a couple of the side trailers. Like, we've gotten a lot more because it was relatively limited, but I think they knew all along what they were doing. So it's like, well, we don't need to give much. There's already all this interest. We'll just let people be rewarded when the time comes. And by the way, in a game full of fan servicey characters, There's not much
Yes,
here.
she is. There's not much. That's one of the things that I do like about her. Look, she's got stockings on her legs. She's certainly hot. You know what I'm saying? But like, look at they're not trying to like goon too hard here, right? You know, she might be a little like she's. I don't even know that I'd say she's that busty. They you know, she's short. I mean, I guess that could be a pro or a con depending on who you are, but she's not rocking around like Yanagi is. Let's just say. Which is a little redonkulous. No, I think they do a really good job with her as far as like her selling point is that she's cool in a way, but also I like that they temper that with in there's sort of two aspects where they sort of make her there are moments of genuine vulnerability in the 1.41 and like just genuineness as far as like who she puts her trust into and how and why and things. I think that's super cool. We don't get that for a lot of the characters in this game. And there's a bit of humor, even sort of mixed in with some tragedy, where she just has all these different training things that she does. And a lot of them are just kind of stupid things, but it's definitely connected with her mother, as you see in some of the other stuff, where her mother would have her do kind of stupid training exercises because her mother was kind of trying to get her out of the life of being a warrior, hero, swordsman. She kind of wanted her to just live a normal life. And so, you know, to get her to not pick up the sword to train with the sword, she'd be like, well, if you want to do your training today, it's eat your vegetables. It's, you know, make sure you get 8 hours of sleep. It's make sure you can remember all of our aunts and uncles' names. And that's why you see even early on in the game, she's talking about going through her yearbook with Juyan, who, you know, I would ship Officer Lady and Miyabi. You know, yeah, that's fine. But
there's clearly history there. There's chemistry. I like it.
There's chemistry. Yeah, I like. There's some stuff that happens where you're sort of like, how close do you know each other?
It's like, well, this is Jujuen's weakness, and you can do it and it'll work, and it does 100%. And you're like,
And she's even like, I know because I've used it before. And like, you'd be like, wait, what? And it's the weakness is just like holding her hand and talking, looking her in the eyes and being genuine with her. And you're like, how often have you used this?
Right.
And why?
What's that training called?
Yeah, what's that training called? Yeah, so she has her kind of stupid comedic moments. So she's not just this like Iron House warrior, but she also is. And I know it's power creep. We're going on a bit of a tangent here. But I will say, of all the characters to power creep other people, this is the character to do it. They literally have a whole thing on her character sheet where you hit R3, Void Hunter, right here. This is a thing no one else has. Everyone's, oh, Lucy Nicole, Void Hunter. She has a special tag. This is a character that is treated mechanically in the game and lore in the game as like overpowered as hell, as broken beyond reason. You don't pick a fight with the Void Hunter. They have earned that title for a reason. It is to be like feared or respected. In fact, so much so that I could even make an argument that Nicole gets one of the better moments in the 1.4 story. In fact, a lot of the Cunning Hares do, specifically for basically not being afraid to pick a fight with Miyabi. And you feel that tension. You feel that like they're making a genuine potential like sacrifice. Like there's no way that they win. And the fact that they're even willing to put up the fight, you know, that says something about the Cunning Hares and like how much they have your back and things like that. And that's sold in her kit. Overpowered as she may be, I think the story goes out of its way to sort of excuse it.
Yeah.
I mean, you can say that there's no such thing as excusing power creep. It's really going to depend on what they do with characters going forward. If Miyabi just keeps being the ceiling, it's not power creep. Are they going to do that? I don't know. Probably not. But if there was ever a time to do it, it would be here. And it doesn't feel like she comes out of nowhere, even though she clearly is way more powerful.
And I don't want to throw shade at the Ellen fans out there. She's a cool character. I know I don't regret not pulling her, but like it sucks the position she's in. She's the first limited. In general, those don't usually hold up very well. But think about it this way. It's not even necessarily power creep. It's just over time, it's always going to be the new hotness. And somewhere along the way, you're going to latch on to the new hotness. Or like, what characters from Mondstadt are still relevant? story wise or gameplay wise, but especially gameplay wise. Like that list starts and ends with Bennett, and that's really only because they haven't duplicated Bennett's effects in any way whatsoever. Otherwise, like,
and it's almost because
who else is
he's
still
too
around?
powerful.
You're not using Jean anymore. Amber was never relevant. She's still the worst character in the game. Like, Fischl, I guess, is on some niche teams, but, like, almost all those characters have been kind of forgotten over the last 3.5 years because that's what happens in these games.
Yep. Yeah, you just sort of got to pick your favorites, find teams that you like to use them with, or just characters that you genuinely like their movesets or gameplay or whatever. Like, make your choices, build your teams, do what you enjoy. I know combat-wise, I think one of the funnest parts in 1.4, and this is mechanically speaking, even though it is a very important plot and very kind of fun what they do or cool or what have you, is you just have Miyabi, and it's like a survival mode. And it's basically kill or be killed, and they make you kind of sweat a little bit as it's just you versus hordes of enemies, and it's fun. It kind of sells you on her on like you're like thanking God she's as powerful as she is. Because otherwise, what were you going to do in that moment?
And you have a slow walk scene right after that, which is always nice when the gameplay makes you feel the struggle. 14 has a notable one that's done this. Metal Gear Solid has a one that's done this. Like it's cool when you can work that in and make the player feel that struggle.
No, and that leads to, I would say, one of the more emotional, kind of vulnerable moments, like from her. Overall, 1.4 convinced me that if I didn't pull Miyabi, I would regret not being able to do all of the fun stuff, being able to run around the city, do the social links with her, all that kind of. Those are the things that are going to be filling my time in between, whatever else happens in this game, in between patches. That's the stuff that I have to care about a character to want to do all that kind of stuff, no matter how much I like them. If I hate talking to them, I don't know how much that matters. And Miyabi eventually like fit the bill. I wasn't convinced. 1.4 convinced me, and it's probably because that's the only real time we've gotten to know her, like genuinely. But they did a good job. They did a genuine. I wouldn't say it's like Farina. They didn't like build this whole like 3 arc structure around her, but as far as a culmination of a story and dedicating an arc to a character, who they are, their history, and building a relationship between them and the main character and you the player, I think they did a really good job in 1.4. And it's the strength of it's, I think, probably ZZZ's storytelling maybe at its best. I think there's some other really good things, like I think the Jane Doe arc was really solid, but for including plot and the main character and their relationship with other characters, namely some like this, who also have a connection to Miyabi, I think 1.4 did a great job. They bring a lot of things full circle in their sort of first big finale for ZZZ.
Yep.
Yeah,
Story's
it's
working.
solid stuff.
A lot of the quality of life stuff is great. I mean, as you said, the voice acting fell by the wayside because of everything else they put in this. I don't feel shortchanged. God, just even using everybody's ults, because, your support characters, you were never going to use their ult. Just never. So now you actually can, which obviously makes even more value for Astra Yao coming down the pipe here, potentially. Like, a lot of question marks as far as the way this all settles with the dust on this new meta, but it doesn't matter right now. It's just like, oh yeah, when, I don't know, when Nicole's ult is ready, I'll fire it off. Why not?
Yeah, I've had some kind of interesting, because like time pauses when you do it. So like before, if I was doing a burst rotation with my Julian and Nicole, you had to sort of proc the stun, get Nicole, and then from there swap into Julian, put your time in with her doing the damage, maybe pop Julian's ult. But then it was sort of like, okay, well, I think the debuff is going to wear off if I try to do a whole nother full round. Do I swap back to Nicole and do her special, then get Julian, or I can just swap back to Nicole, pop Nicole's ult, that'll freeze time, swap Julian in, do my rotation, and now because Nicole's a support, she's passed energy over to Julian, so that if I'm low on bullets or I want to set up for the next full rotation, I've got energy to do that. It's good. It's great. Lucy's the same sort of way. You want to kick it to my Bernice, so my Bernice has endless fuel to burn everything. Oh, beautiful, lovely. Lucy pops on the field, hits a home run, Bernice is ready to go. It's good stuff. It's breathed new life into old characters, and it's going to make new characters I think feel genuinely good in a way. Like, yeah, definitely there were going to be characters that are coming out and you're just looking at them like, ignore their ult. Who cares what their ult does? You're never going to use it. And like, that's a bad feeling when like you get a new character, they've got this great animation, but you're looking at your team going, yeah, but it's not, why would I use it? It's not the best thing. You know what I mean? It's not ideal. I'm not getting the most damage numbers. I'm actually hurting myself if I pop this and I use my decibels for it. They've changed it. They've made it better. It's, yeah, it is, I would say, opened up rotations in teams. I suspect there might be some changes in like which teams or characters are better now that like you actually get use out of their ult. Ching Yi has new life in her now that you can basically use auto attacks or have saved up enough energy to do her debuff and then pop her ult and then have full energy to do the debuff again. That already feels phenomenal on bosses where you need to get that twice in a rotation instead of elites where you only need to do it once. Like that changes. That's Chingy in a nutshell. There's a whole like 10-15 seconds of having to just auto and maybe dodge or do whatever. You don't have to do that now. You just save your burst for those moments. You're good to go. That's a rotation changer in so many ways.
Yep.
It's good. It's good. I mean, I don't know what else to say, but if people have been enjoying ZZZ or they did, and they kind of stepped away, 1.4 is the time to get back. It's easily worth it. And as far as somebody worth putting your polychromes into, it is probably Miyabi. No matter where you stand on the fence with her, and obviously if you like her, you probably already pulled her. Yeah, that's not who you are. But if you're on the fence, I don't know, try to play through 1.4. You got plenty of time. Her banner's still up. I think it's worth it. But maybe we're just coping because we we pulled 4. I don't think that's the case though.
No, I'm pretty content, and to be honest, I don't care if anybody else is. I mean, I was probably never going to regret it. I've been waiting for this the entire game so far, but between how lucky I was on the polls and just how good she is, not just as a character, but like, in the story and all that, I have zero qualms with it. I don't really care what happens in the future. I'm happy no matter what.
Yep, we'll see what happens in future stuff. I'm down to 66 polls here. We'll see how everything goes. But I'd still like to get Astra and Evelyn. We'll see how the luck goes on those. It could be bad. I certainly have. I'm up to 13. I have a number of polls sitting here if I want. I don't know how much that is, like 65 or something like that. So like I've got resources, and it keeps looking like it's going to be longer and longer until Trigger and Obel Squad come. Maybe 2.0. They might be the sort of callback faction to start the next big story arc after the intermission chapters. Is maybe what it's looking like. But who knows? Who really knows how all that's gonna, shake out in the end? But yeah, I mean, we'll be back here for Evelyn whenever she comes around, and/or Astra. We'll see if they do the dual banner like this. If they do, then it'll probably be me pulling for Evelyn and then seeing how far I can get on Astra. If I have to pull for Astra first, that's going to be a little bit spicier, but we'll see how that happens because I don't have the guarantee anymore. But I don't think there's a world where I regret pulling for Miyabi on this. She feels incredibly good to play, probably because she's not very difficult to play. So,
That's true.
It's good stuff. Yeah.
All right, well, insert Shenhe joke here. This dog is not. Although technically she is coming back, kind of.
She's coming back now, though. That's just it. The joke's over, everybody. They legitimately said, oops, our bad. We suck at doing fucking banners. And we made a rule that said she wasn't open to come back. And it's been fucking forever. So then they just said, well, I guess we'll just change the rules, even though that was not going to be the rules. Again, we could talk about Genshin and my thoughts on like what the fuck they're doing with their banner system right now. I don't.
But hey,
they don't even agree with their own banner system. Is clearly what I'm hearing right now.
Yeah, it makes you wonder if there's just a struggle between certain designers and higher ups or stakeholders or what, because it does seem like their views internally are not in alignment. But at the same time, they do at least deserve credit when they're righting a wrong. And for fans of that character and a couple others, they're going to get a long-awaited rerun. So okay, good job.
Risley Wanters will continue to be Risley Wanters, but at least the Shenhe Wanters will get some relief here soon, and we'll get a video for that. Fugue is one that I will be pulling for. Not in a huge hurry, but we'll do it at some point here soon. I just want her for my account. I could go on a discussion about how I think I could just make fun teams with her. Acheron Super Break. I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? So that could be fun. But so that'll happen here soon. I think she comes out next week, or someone somewhere soon. But yeah, I've got a Fox Siren that I have to build now. So that'll be my goal.
Blessed Fox Theron. All right, well, more pull videos to come, as we mentioned. Like the new Genshin patch drops just after the new year. Plenty of. What's nice about having 3 games in this rotation is they're all sort of dropping content almost every other week. So like, there's gonna be plenty more to come. As always, if you like these videos, like and subscribe. We'll be doing more of them because they usually do pretty well. I don't know. I also like watching folks pull and see how successful they are. So hopefully you're enjoying them. We'll see you next time we whale.
Have a good night, everyone.